Hi friends, welcome to episode 36 of Last Stitch Effort. This is my little podcast, if you will, about using up my stash and hopefully not adding too much more to it. I failed at that, but that's okay. Anyway, my name is Pacasha and I'm joining you today from New Mexico. And since everybody talks about the weather, me included, it's a beautiful fall day. It's finally cooling off and it's been raining a little bit, which is a nice change for the raining a lot that was causing flooding after our wildfire this summer. So I guess everybody's kind of having different experiences with the weather lately. So anyway, my heart goes out to all of you who are really struggling. Hi, I know what that feels like. Anyway, so this is mainly about knitting, sometimes about spinning. There could be crochet sometime, not anytime soon, but whatever. And I also weave, but I haven't done that in a long time. Actually, I haven't done it since I got my second cat, because he was a crazy kitten and got into things, and just, warping is just a big mess. And like now he's like 6, so I probably shouldn't even consider myself a weaver of any sort. But anyway, let's move on. So the first thing I like to talk about is what I'm wearing. This is I think it's the Mulben. It's a pattern by Ysolda Teague, and it was part of her colorwork club back in, I think it was 2020 when it was released, or 2021. And Mark got this for me that Christmas. And yeah, I think the yarn didn't get here until that January. And it came in different colorways, whatever, different like families of color palettes, if you will. And it's Rauma Finull yarn, maybe? I don't know. One of the Raumas that has a bajillion colors. And so I got the natural colors. And this was the cowl that was part of that collection. And I've actually made 3 of them. I think this was my first one. And I made 2 more. They were kind of a comfort knit. That summer my dad got really, really sick and died. So I started these in the spring and made a couple more over the summer as just kind of some comfort knits. So that's what that is. And I was going to wear my sea glass pullover, but it's too hot. This is actually kind of a little too hot. And also my sea glass. So I plan on wearing it with this gray like jersey dress that I have. And it's like a tiered dress, but I bought the next size down, and the tiers are hitting me in a different spot in the waist area. So I don't really like how that pullover looks with that dress anymore. So I'm gonna have to figure out, I've got like, I think 2 or 3 other dresses that I think will work. I don't have a whole lot of clothes, but I try to make everything go together as much as possible, or at least get as much overlap as I can. Anyway, so that's what I would be wearing, but I'm not. So I don't think that's a segment. We can just move on. I did not bring my notebook with my numbers in it. I don't know where my stash stands right now. Lately I've brought in a bunch of yarn to do a couple of big projects for my daughter who's graduating this year, for her dorm room next year. And I also went to my first wool festival, which I talked about a little bit, but I did bring home some stuff from that. So right now I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I'm not sure how I want to deal with it. And so we're just going to take a little break from keeping track, because it was giving me some unnecessary, I want to say unnecessary guilt. I can take responsibility for my actions. I know I have a lot of yarn already. I didn't need any more yarn. I did enjoy buying it. I had a great time there with my husband, and he likes to look at yarn and pick things out and plan with me, or he says he does. He's a good sport. Yeah, anyway, it was a good time. right? And I supported some small businesses, and that was even better. Like, well, not even better, but you know, it was fantastic. So I shouldn't feel bad. And I will knit this yarn if I live long enough to knit all my yarn. I do love it all. Okay, so let's move on to finished projects. So starting probably about 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, I started making a bunch of slippers and socks for some little ones in my circle, family, friend circle. And I finished everything I needed to finish so that everybody has what they need and I can ship things off or make sure that the siblings are getting what they're getting at the same time, so there's no fights or anything. So the last ones I finished, I have a pair of red like house slipper things. I don't know if I showed these last time, but this is a pattern I've been using. This is the full adult size pattern, but I did adjust the numbers for smaller ones too. And the pattern is by, don't know her name, but the blog post is Temple of Knit. There's a free version, but there's also one where she does all the sizes and stuff. And I've made enough of these that I just kind of guessed and did my own kid version. But anyway, so these are for my cousin's son who let us stay with them when we were evacuated. So just a little thank you. And these are for my friends, one of my friend's little boys. And this is, oh, I'm sorry. This yarn was, it's some acrylic, I'm not sure. It was part of the large yarn order that I had gotten recently. I knew I wanted to do acrylic just because they live in Amarillo, which is actually for the most part colder than here, and we live at a 7,000 feet elevation. But I don't know, like, I thought acrylic would be better for a teenage boy, for, you know, wherever, their location, everything. I think acrylic would have worked, was the best option. So he has little red ones. I made these for Texas Tech. I don't think he's going to go to Texas Tech, but it would be cool if he did, because I did. Oh, I'm getting a phone call, but I'm going to ignore it. Because it's not an important person. It is a telemarketer, just to make that clear, so nobody's going, oh my god, I hope that wasn't me calling and she thinks I'm not important. No, you're not a telemarketer. Anyway, these are for my friend's kiddo, and I used a strand of sock yarn that I used for this guy's socks, and I used a strand of Nomadic Knits self-striping, and I think it was the Neville long bottom colorway. So the Nomadic ones, they're like a merino base. It's a super soft self-striping sock yarn, and that's great and gorgeous. But for slippers, for a rambunctious little guy, I knew I wanted something that would hold up a little bit better, so I decided to hold it with that sock yarn that I used last week, which the socks are over there. I'm not gonna get them, but it was just a little more robust, and I wanted them to have, you know, a little more durability. So I held it together with that. So you can kind of see the stripes, but it's marled with a blue and gray and light blue yarn. Anyway, so I mean, it's not a whole lot of finished objects, but it means the whole package, the whole collection, if you will, is complete. And that feels really good. So these will all take off to their new homes soon. And I have a lot of whips. I think the thing I will start with is, so typically I have like an easy project, or a project that I don't really have to look at or whatever, when I travel, when I go to movies, when I'm in the car, when I'm whatever. And I decided for that, well, usually it's socks, but I'm taking a little break from socks. I almost always have socks on the needles, and I just need a break from socks for a minute. So these, like, my needles are on this, like, this is a needle stopper thing. There's There's 2 little holes in the bottom and they're marked where to put them to hold your needles. But yeah, this is one of the things I got at the Wool Festival thing in Santa Fe. I don't have the card with me, or I'd let you know who I got it from. She was amazing. I will show them again in the future, and I will actually, I'll put the information down below. So this is I mean, she even has like different breeds of sheep. What is this breed? They have a lot of them in New Zealand. I don't know. It's a cute little guy though. So anyway, doing half and half triangles wrap by Purl Soho, and I will put the designer, all the information down below. I don't do links. I've said it before, but I don't do links because, number one, I don't ever want really to profit off of this. This is just me talking. And so that just kind of keeps things, you know, on the, like above the table. Is that a term? Oh, Lord. It's a Friday, but it feels like it's a Monday. Anyway, yeah. And everybody knows how to use Google, whatever. You can look things up. Then there's no questionable links that I'm sending you to. Or you can get there your own way. And also know that a lot of people are sensitive to Ravelry. So I don't provide a direct link to Ravelry in case that could trigger a migraine or what have you. I use Ravelry daily. I love Ravelry. I think it's great. It works really well for me. So I think, what is that? Okay. Anyway, so my Ravelry information is below. My Instagram information is below. Everything is below. It's just not going to be linked for various reasons. So you can do what you need to do. Anyway, so this is my half and half triangles wrap. I think last time I was like barely, maybe not even cast on, or I don't even know if I was talking about it then. Surely I was. Surely I was somewhere. Anyway, this is, it's kind of a mess. I'm not that far into it. Like this is where my wraps and turns are. But this is also like the longest part because it's 2 triangles and you cast on along the bottom edge of the first triangle, and then you get smaller and smaller, you know, with short rows, and then you go and you get smaller and smaller on that side in 2 different colors. So I've gotten like a lot of the longer rows done on that first triangle. So it is feeling like it's speeding up a bit. The 2 colors I'm using, I didn't bring them with me. One of them I know is Pale Mushroom. I don't know if that's what this color is, but this is Purl Soho Linen Quill. Yeah, and one of the colors is Pale Mushroom. Maybe it's this one. I think this one's Twig Brown, and I think the other one is Pale Mushroom. So it's going to be kind of a neutral shawl. This thing is going to be big enough that it's almost a little lap blanket. So it's kind of the perfect little travel project, I think. You know, if it gets too cumbersome, then I'll switch back over to something smaller like socks. Right now, I'm taking a break and I'm enjoying it. So let me put my little needle things back in my sheep. It's so cute. All right, so that is whip number 1. So number 2, as I said, I've recently bought a lot of yarn. Because primarily my stash is not, it's mostly just wool, maybe some wool, some superwash, some nylon in with, you know, the sock stuff, but for the most part I try to use natural fibers. I will admit I'm a yarn snob, but I'm not like a total snob because I know when, obviously I made those slippers out of acrylic, and I'm making a blanket for my daughter out of acrylic because she's going to college and she's going to have enough to deal with. So I don't really want her to worry about shrinking a blanket I made or whatever, not being able to wash something. Anyway, make things easy. So I am making the Nectar blanket by Ysolda Teague. This is going to be the Ysolda Teague episode. I don't think I have anything else from Ysolda, so maybe not, but not sponsored, but I do love her. Anyway, so this is the Nectar blanket, and it's basically these hexagons that you knit, and then they'll all be sewn together, and then there'll be a border. There's also like triangle pieces. Like there's ways to make it perfectly square. So that's really cool. Anyway, I think this was the first one, the first piece I started out with. I don't know. It's a color changing acrylic. It's a slow pink and gray one. And right now I only have 4 pieces. I was trying to do 4 a day, or 1 a day, and it's a lot of work. So they're really pretty, and they're going to be so cool when they're all sewn together. The yarn is King Cole Curiosity double knitting, and so I've used most of the pink was here already, so that's pretty much just whites and grays for the rest of this skein, but I have several of these to finish her blanket. And so that's been, I would say, my priority knitting. It's not a huge rush to get it done, but I would like to have it done fairly soon. It would feel good. Plus there's probably, I'm going to do a pale gray border at the end, and if there's some left over, I have a project that I really want to get done. It would be so nice if I could do this before Christmas, and then I could finish this other project before Christmas for a certain other person. But I really can't discuss that right now because sometimes my daughter's friends watch this, and I mean, there's something like hilarious about like a teenage boy watching this. So if you're watching, hi Liam. But anyway, I'm making something for her boyfriend, and I don't want him to know. So that's it. We'll just move on. Okay, so the next project I'm making, I also ordered yarn to make some like cushions or pillows for both of them for their dorms. And I got a color that I didn't think that they would actually like. I got it really because I thought it was pretty, but also to test it out, and it was like, you know, fairly inexpensive, very inexpensive yarn. And I feel like anytime I make something for my house, my cats immediately destroy it, or they gravitate to it. So then maybe they're not destroying it, but I didn't want to be too precious about this, and I just kind of wanted to try out the pattern because I wanted to make it for a few years. So this yarn is, I think you say Scheepjes. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Scrumptious. It's like a DK. It's like a recycled plastic. And this colorway is called Grapefruit Curd Tart. It matches my fingernails a little bit. And the pattern I'm using, sorry, this is like a huge pile of stuff, is from Rib Magazine. I don't know if you guys remember, but this came out several years ago, and it was going to be like the best publication. Like it was for male styled garments, essentially. A little more focused on those shapes and fits and stuff. And then I think I bought a whole year's worth, like I prepaid, but there only were 3, and then they stopped doing them. Anyway, so Erik Lutz, he did the, is that his name? He did the Sticks Plus Twine podcast. Every now and then he pops back online, but I haven't seen him in a while. But this was his baby. Like, he made this, and if you guys watch Legacy Knits, this is Chelsea's husband, Justin. And then Tiny Paper Foxes, which is Devin and Jenny. They don't have a podcast anymore, but like Devin is a photographer, and he did the photography for this, and it's just a beautiful high quality thing. If you ever find a used copy of, there's 3 volumes, but they're really nice magazines, journals, whatever. So I'm making this pillow, and so it's just like a really basic square pillow, but it's got some nice textures in it. And yeah, it's called the Dragonmoss Pillow by Erik Lutz. So that's what I'm making. I plan on making a couple more, a few more, whatever. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think it's kind of an easy knit, but there's a little bit of charts that you have to look at later on, but for the most part, it's a comfort knit, and I don't know, I just feel like making a pillow. So I'm making pillows. And where can I put this? The next thing I'll show you is, while we were in Santa Fe, there were a ton of alpaca farmers there. I actually did not see any sheep at all. All I saw were alpacas, but we were there the second day, so maybe the sheep were there the day before. And one of the places that I got alpaca from, which of course I don't have the card, I will put it below, but and a lot of these places didn't have internet presence anyway, so I'm not sure if there is one, but this is from an alpaca named Champagne. They colored Champ, and it's blended with some like turquoise bamboo. And I'm making a cowl for Mark, and I'm doing a half fisherman's rib. So it's a row of knits, and then the next row is, oh, it looks like I messed up. I definitely messed up. I'm showing you a really bad spot. So it's a row of knits, and then the next row you knit, and then you purl through the stitch below, which I think is where I made my mistake. So I'll hold this up all squinched up, but hopefully it'll have a lot more progress next time, but it's going really quickly, and I'm hoping I can fix that little goobery part right there. So while I was there, before I went, I kind of made a list of things that I wanted to, if I was going to buy yarn, which I knew I was, things that I would buy for. And one of the projects that I've wanted to make for a very long time is a pair of fiddlehead mitts. I've made several pairs before, and they're by Adrian. Oh, this is bad. Hello Yarn Adrian. Basilia. Is that how you say her name? Yeah. I've made several before, several of these mitts. They're super fun to make. So I had, oopsie, I had 2 skeins of Shelter. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. I had 2 skeins of Shelter that I wanted to make some more. Gosh, this is a mess. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. So I have these 2. I talked about them last time. And I ended up getting this, which is a pretty good match. I kind of was going to go for a contrast, but this, whatever. This is for the lining. So it's like an alpaca lace weight. I got 2 skeins of this. I got a purple one and I got a green one for another project that I'll talk to you about. So I haven't actually started this yet, but I just wanted to show you that I did get, this is bought for, so this will become a project in the next week, I hope. I forgot to tell you guys, so we are actually painting the exterior of our house. And that's why I haven't gotten a lot of knitting done, because I've been prepping and painting, and I was sick, and then I also have jury duty, but it's all been canceled so far, but that still throws off your planning for the week. So yeah, so it's been kind of hectic the last couple of weeks. But I just wanted to kind of show you that, because I would like to get started on that soon. Bought a green one that I will be using to make Gudrun Johnston's new Snowdrift cowl. I think I talked about that too. But I actually did like cake that one up. I didn't cake the purple one up because after the green one I was like, I need a break. It is so sticky and fluffy. Like, it is so like a felted freaking Muppet. It's crazy. I mean, it's gorgeous. I think it's going to be fabulous. But it was not fun to ball up, let me tell you. So, yeah. I don't really have anything else to talk about. yeah, I just knew like with the house painting, because we're not done yet, we're doing it ourselves. It's going to take a while. And we're painting it black, and so it really needs a good couple, at least 2 good coats. Anyway, and it's about to start raining again this weekend. So, yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen and how much time I'm going to have to do things. And yeah, I knew if I didn't record today that it would probably be, it could have been another 2 weeks before I got to record. Another big thing that happened was my daughter turned 18. Oh. But we had a fun day yesterday celebrating her, and yeah. I feel sad, but not really, because she's pretty awesome. I'm pretty proud of that kid. So, yeah. So it's always been like every day there's been something happening, and yeah, it's good. It's all been good. And that's it. That's all I really have to talk about. Just checking in and checking in with you guys. Hope you're all doing well. And I know several of you are going through some really interesting and fun things. And so I'm thinking about you. I don't want to name names because that could get weird. But anyway, my friend Alicia, who I'll tag below, she has a YouTube channel also. She's possibly going to be moving back into her home. She had to, when we evacuated for the fires, her house was fine. However, everything around her burnt, so she had a lot of smoke damage inside of her house, and so she's had to have some work done to make things safe, and hopefully that's coming together for her this weekend. I probably shouldn't be talking about that either, but I'm just excited for her, and you guys may know her, right? So that's that, and there's a couple of other things too, but we'll just leave it at that. Oh, Jennifer, if you're watching, this color is called Whiskey Neat, and it's by Lights Lacquer. A lot of my nail polish is Lights Lacquer because I find that it lasts a long time. Yeah. So hi guys, hi friends. I missed you and I love you and I hope you're doing well, and please leave me a comment, shoot me a text, find me on Instagram, Ravelry, anything. Just, this is my way of reaching out to a bunch of people at once. I hope you guys reach out to me too. If you're watching and you have a podcast and I need to watch it, yes, I do need to watch it, please let me know down below. That'd be awesome. Yeah, anyway, I hope everything's great with you. I'll stop rambling on. I hope you guys know I love you no matter what. So I'm just letting you know I love you, and I miss you. And I will talk to you guys soon. And happy Halloween if I don't see you before. Bye.